I fully accept now that the post office, excuse me, the post office knew that. I completely accepted. Personally, I didn't know that, and I'm incredibly sorry that that happened to those people and to so many others.
The notes of a meeting between you, we can just see you at the foot of the screen there, other post office personnel, and a group of MPs, including Lord Arbuthnot. Yes?
Yes.
It's dated the 18th of June 2012. And can we look, please, at page 2, where you're recorded as saying, Paula Vennells continued, she said that temptation is an issue, but that trust in the post office brand is absolutely paramount. The post office needs competent, trustworthy people on staff, and its processes and systems must be transparent and work well. Of the 1,800 subpostmasters and mistresses currently employed, only a tiny number are presenting cases where there is an issue of alleged fraud involving the Horizon system. The problem, therefore, is relatively small.
I think
Horizon
you actually said 1,800, but it's 11,800.
Thank you, sir. The problem is therefore relatively small. The Horizon system is very secure. Every keystroke used by anyone using the system is recorded and auditable. When things go wrong in a sub-post office, there is a helpline which staff can call 7 days per week during office hours, and backup staff who will help further if things go wrong. It's here that issues are normally resolved. It appears that some sub-postmasters have been borrowing money from the post office account or till in the same way they might do in a retail business, but this isn't how the post office works. Post office cash is public money, and the post office must recover it if any goes missing. And then this, every case taken to prosecution that involves the Horizon system thus far has found in favour of the post office. And then a similar line, if we can remember that one, to go over to page 3. Just at the foot of the screen there, you are recorded as saying, going back to Andrew Brigham's question, there had not been a case investigated where the Horizon system had been found to be at fault. Is what we read here, every case taken to prosecution has found in favour of the post office, there hasn't been a case investigated where the Horizon system has been found to be at fault, a reflection of the unwavering belief that Mr. Cameron spoke about, that nothing had gone wrong, there had been no miscarriages of justice, and you refused to deviate from those lines?
It isn't a representation of that. It is, though, a representation of the information that I was given. In, I think, January 2012, the General Counsel told the board exactly this, and the inquiry has seen this statement, I think, made by other colleagues. It was an understanding in the organisation which I now know is completely incorrect.
You know it's incorrect because you know that by the time you were speaking here, Nicola Arch, the branch manager at Chalford Hill Post Office in Stroud, Gloucestershire, having been accused of stealing £24,000, had been acquitted by a jury in April 2012, having blamed Horizon for the alleged shortfalls at her branch, don't you?
I didn't know that information.
You know now?
I know now, yes.
You know now that Maureen McKelvey, the sub-postmistress at Clannabogan in Omagh, accused of stealing £30,000, had been acquitted by a jury, having blamed Horizon for the cause of losses of money of which she was accused of stealing. You know that now?
I know that now.
You know now that Susan Palmer, the sub-postmistress at Grange Post Office in Rayleigh, had been acquitted by a jury in January 2007, Mrs. Palmer having blamed Horizon at trial for the losses said to have been attributable to her. Why were you telling these parliamentarians that every prosecution involving the Horizon system had been successful and had found in favour of the Post Office?
I fully accept now that the Post Office, excuse me, the Post Office knew that. I completely accepted. Personally, I didn't know that, and I'm incredibly sorry that that happened to those people and to so many others.
You'd received a detailed briefing for the purposes of this meeting, hadn't you?
Yes, I had.
There had been successive drafts of a briefing pack prepared for you. And it was about 20 pages long, the briefing pack.
Yes, I can remember it.
Can we look, please, at poll 309-6640? This is the final version of the briefing pack for this very meeting. We're familiar with it. If we go to page 2, we can see the agenda and how the meeting was chunked up, who was going to speak to which issue. And you were going to speak at point 3 to the background.
Yeah.
And then if we go over the page to page 3, we can see what Alice Perkins was going to deliver as key messages. And then over the page to page 4, we can see your section.
Yeah.
Yes? Topic 3, background. And we can see all of the bullet points in detail on that page, yes?
Yes.
Where does it say there that every case taken to prosecution that involves the Horizon system has been found in favour of the Post Office?
I'm not sure that it does it?
It doesn't.
No.
Where does it say there that there had not been a case investigated where the Horizon system had been found to be at fault?
I don't see it.
Where does it say there anything about temptation and subpostmasters having their hands in the till, treating it like a retail business?
That, I remember, was discussed in the meeting.
Yes, where does it say it here?
If it isn't there, Mr. Beer, I take your
Where
word
does it
for
say here that every keystroke is recorded?
I believe that was picked up by Leslie Sewell.
Yes, where does it say here?
If it isn't there, it isn't there.
No. So why are the things that postmasters have been led into temptation, that every case that has been prosecuted we've won, not appear in your briefing for this meeting, but are the very things that you said to this group of parliamentarians?
When you're in a meeting, you take the briefing in with you, and then you supplement it or raise things that you consider also appropriate in the meeting.
Isn't the purpose of a briefing that it's gone through a process, that the right people have been involved in it? I mean, we've seen the back issues of this, the email exchanges between the relevant people, IT and legal, to get the key messages recorded right. Are you saying that you put this to one side and you freestyle in the meeting?
No, not at all. I would have used the briefing and I would have added in, as anybody does, I think, given a briefing, to further information that I thought was relevant. What I did want to see, because I can see Mrs. Hamilton sitting there, is that I did not realise at the time, when the details of her case were presented in this meeting, that the Post Office had more detail in the prosecution file than was shared with us at the time, and I'm very sorry about that.